Come on, like I said something funny. Get in the car. Knife defense, counterattack 4. A kidnapper tries to abduct you by putting a knife to your side. Scary thought, yet there's always a way. That's what we'll answer in today's video. Hi, I'm Dylan, leader of Phantom Force. We're a mercenary team, yet we're not for hire. We've taken a long-term contract with some Hollywood executives to make movies. They wanted to bring more realism to films, and we agreed. So if you love action movies and like to check out some of our work, click on the link below this video to watch some great action movies for free. They're paid for by our awesome sponsors. Well, enough of that for now. Our team helps military personnel, law enforcement, politicians, and civilians in high-risk areas survive life-threatening situations with proven real-world tactics for real-world situations. Each week, we show another, what others would describe as seemingly impossible situation with a simple, time-tested, combat-proven technique for overcoming it. So let's get right to it. Knife defense, counterattack 4. A kidnapper tries to abduct you by putting a knife to your side. Side note, all the techniques that we share with you are taken from the martial arts system we're trained in, CBT, Commando Battle Tactics. Okay, hopefully this never happens to you. Let's say someone approaches you and wants you to go with them against their will. Especially with these abduction type situations, the most important thing to know is do not go with them. They're trying to take you to a secondary crime scene. Few people survive when taken there. Think about it. If they're willing to kill you now, in a public place where others can see and hear it all, what do you think they're going to do to you once they take you someplace else? So first, we're going to demonstrate the counterattack technique and explain the strategy behind what makes it work, and finally, why it works. And this is important. Hammerhead, our team's weapons specialist, will be the attacker.
I'm Hammerhead.
All right, so let's go ahead and demonstrate knife defense, counterattack 4.
Well, like I said something funny. In the car.
Okay. Front seat or back seat?
Doesn't matter.
Stop. Other side. Or either way is fine. You can decide.
Well, like I said something funny. In the car.
Front seat or back seat?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay, so now we're going to share the strategy behind why it works. It's not about having a lot of fancy techniques. It's about having simple, proven techniques that work every time. All right, so the first thing to know is the knife has to be thrust into your internal organs to kill you. So what they'll actually do to finish, and we'll have Hammerhead demonstrate this, please, is that they'll actually thrust the knife all the way through your body. Then they'll hook it. And you notice when they hook it, it's like at a slight angle. Let's turn it, look so the camera can see it. At a slight angle, and then they pull it back out. And what that does is it cuts through your internal organs, hooks up, gets your heart and everything else, and rips everything out the side. That's actually how they will finish you. So that's the most important thing to know, is how they finish you. So go ahead and put the knife back here. And you notice they also will put the knife in front of your arm because it kind of keeps this arm immobilized. You know, if your arm is here, you can do stuff. So they'll trap this arm by grabbing this left arm, so you can't do anything, and they put the pressure right there. So you're like, oh, and you lock up, right? So again, this is a kill position. And then, let's turn to the side a little bit. Understand, from this position, you're killed. From this position, you're alive. Because now, even if they thrust, they're behind you now. So literally a matter of maybe 3 or 4 inches is the difference between life and death. It's important to know because you'll understand when we actually do the technique. This is killed, this is alive. This is killed, this is alive. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is you never want to launch into a technique without prefacing it with a distraction. So military operations traditionally are always prefaced with a psychological attack, which is usually takes the form of a diversion or distraction or feint of some sort. And that is then when the true, attack comes in. So you want to do the same thing. So we use a strategy that we call, number 2, is distract attack. And the thing is, the human mind operates on a time lag. We remember it as the acronym SIA, S-I-A. That is, the brain must first see this new stimuli. Then for I, the I is identified, and it must identify what that stimuli is. And then finally is the A. It must then determine an action to take, and then finally take that action. So we remember it as SIA. So there is a time lag always. Even with professionals who train to minimize that time lag, it's still there with them too. In some military circles, they refer to this as the OODA loop. We always refer to it as SIA. Either way is fine. So the best way to actually distract a human brain is to pose a question. Not a simple statement, an actual question. Because a question causes the brain to engage itself and then to come up with an answer. And then when they come up with an answer or response to your question, that's when you actually attack. So I'll give you an example. If someone comes up to you and says, "Give me your money." You say, okay, I don't have any money on me. Can we get some from my car? And they'll say, oh yeah. And in that moment, bam, that's when you want to strike. In this situation, they come up, they get you, come with me. Smile like I said something funny, right? Get in the car. Okay, front seat or back seat. And in regards to what they come up with, because they're going to reply to that, they say, oh, it doesn't matter. Bam, that's when you strike. So this is important because this is what makes a technique work. You never want them thinking about finishing you or abducting. You always want to distract them, have them thinking about something else. Now, one thing to know is a lot of people sharing combat techniques on YouTube are usually promoting a school or an upcoming event or something. Not us, we have nothing for sale. Everything's taken care of by our awesome sponsors. Definitely click on the links below this video to check out some of the great things they have to offer. All right, so the last thing is number 3, is that you want to trap the knife against their body and finish them with your natural weapons. I'm going to show you this. So some people, in these situations, try to take the knife and finish a person with their own knife. No, that's when it's not realistic. It takes too much time. It's much riskier. The best thing is, again, trap the knife against their body and finish them with their natural weapons. I'm going to show you how this actually looks. So the first thing is right here. We say, okay, front seat or back seat. Now you notice the hands are coming up at this point, and they're in a capitulating fashion. He's still grabbing here, and this is still here. So again, what this does is it doesn't put them on their toes because it looks like they're giving up. And the moment you ask the question, front seat or back seat, and they go to reply,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. This is what you want to do. You trap the knife against your body. So stay right here. This hand drops down. So the arm comes away from the knife, and this hand grabs the wrist, like that. And right there, it pushes them away, so you can see how much distance now is between us from here to here. See that? And the knife is now trapped against their body. At this point, the elbow comes in, traps the knife there, and the strip is affected. All right, the knife drops. Go ahead and secure the knife. So that type of disarm is called a strip, and we'll show it again from the front so you can see with the camera. So from here, boom, the elbow comes in, traps the knife against the body, like that, and you let the knife drop. Now the thing to know with the elbow is there are no major arteries traveling along the elbow, so you have to be concerned about getting cut and bleeding out and that kind of thing. If you have a long sleeve shirt on or even a jacket, it works even better. So the elbow here or the back of the elbow is actually what traps the knife. And it's the same kind of effect if the knife were just here and we just held it with our hand and then pulled with the wrist. You can do it to yourself. It's called a strip. The knife strips out very easily. All right, so we'll go ahead and finish up the rest of it. So from here, again, we turn this arm away. It takes it away from the knife and as well as our side. Take it here, trap it with the elbow. From here, we do an inner forearm strike to an inch above their elbow. It's called the ulnar nerve. You don't want to do it below the elbow because they'll be able to bend their arm. Do it an inch above the elbow. What this does is dislocates their elbow. All right. The other thing is if you don't do this, go ahead and give me a cross on this cheek here. Boom, they'll come in with the strike here. So go ahead and try to do the same thing now. This negates any type of counterattack from the other hand. So the first thing is here, and on a half beat, we bring in a front thrust knee to the pubic symphysis. This is the bone behind the testicle. Women have this as well, and your goal is to actually break that. So on this one beat, the elbow dislocates and the pubic symphysis dislocates. All right. At this point, angle around a little bit. At this point, we do a hammer fist on the third cervical vertebra. That's the middle of the neck. It's the cervical vertebra, and it actually severs the spinal column. And then lastly, we use a technique known as an anvil, which is a left uppercut knee to their larynx and a descending knife hand to the third cervical vertebra. Bam. All right, stand up for a moment. So in the air, it looks like this. All right, doesn't look very powerful on video, yet amazingly powerful when you actually do it. So again, from that position, we step down, hammer fist on the third cervical vertebra, then anvil, larynx, and third cervical vertebra again. So it's 2 strikes to the third cervical vertebra. We'll do one more time on this side. We'll do on the other side. Okay, front seat or back seat?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, we'll do it once on the other side, so you can see it from a different angle. Okay, front seat or back seat?
Doesn't matter.
Again, trapping the elbow, the knife against the body. Here. Boom. Boom. All right. Now, just so you know, some people, we stop the technique here with the anvil, yet there's many things, we train a lot of different things, so we know different things that you can flow into. And some people ask us, what can you flow into at the end of it? The simplest thing you can flow into is actually a neck dislocation. So let's say if we're here, and we'll turn this way, and we just did the, lean forward right here, we just did the anvil, then we can do a neck dislocation, which is here. See that? In practice, that's where it stops. In combat, that's where it finishes. All right? So one other thing to know is that there is a variation of this. So let's say if they do the same technique, instead of putting the knife in front of your arm, they do put the knife behind your arm. All right, let's turn to the side so you can see this. It makes it even easier because now our arms go up and you see the elbow is already in position on the knife. Now let's turn back around, face it. So if the knife is behind the arm, okay, front seat or back seat?
Doesn't matter.
And now again, the elbow just comes right in. See that? And already traps the knife. Strip. Do the neck dislocation. See that? And do one more time on the other side. So again, it doesn't matter if the knife is in front of the arm or behind the arm. The technique is the same. So see again, they can be here or put it behind the arm. If they put it there, the elbow is already right there, so it makes it even easier. So you go, okay, front seat or back seat?
Doesn't matter.
Boom, see that? It already traps the knife there. Grab the wrist, pull it out. Neck dislocation. There you go. Okay, if you have any comments or questions about today's technique, simply post them in the comments below.
Combat Q&A!
Okay, now it's time for our segment called Combat Q&A. We actually answer your questions. Remember here, we do the honors?
Sure. All right.
Find out what they got here.
All right. What's a good improvised weapon to carry with you?
You want to take this one?
Go ahead.
Okay. A good improvised, there's a lot that you can carry. A simple one is the short club. All right. A short club could be a pen, a screwdriver, an ice pick, flashlight, a tree branch, or even a stone. I can show you an example of one. Again, it could be any of these could be a short club. There's actually one that we train with. A regular pen could be a short club as well. And what happens is a key thing to know is you have to know the targets on how to use it. The primary targets are the bregma, which is the top of the skull, the sphenoid bone, some people call it the temple, actually the sphenoid bone, the brain via the eye socket, going through the eye socket to reach the brain, then also the larynx, the third cervical vertebra, the back of the neck, the fifth thoracic vertebra, which is square between the shoulder blades, accesses the heart from the rear, also the fifth and sixth ribs on this side, and then even the pubic symphysis. So those are some of the primary combat targets. So even if you have someone, again, a little training implement, if you want to practice, you can get somebody to any type of beauty supply place. you know, you have them grabbed up here. You got the short club, bam, to the bregma. Again, brain by the eye socket, brain by the eye socket. Again, the larynx, which would be right here, right into the larynx. If it's the third cervical vertebra, again, these are some of the best places to deploy it. The other thing is, it is also effective for disarming people of weapons. You go ahead and secure a knife for a moment. Take this from you. So let's say someone's facing you. Let me have you we'll do it this way. Someone's facing you and they have a knife and you have the short club. You can break the bones, the metacarpals, the carpals and metacarpals of the phalanges with a simple hammer thrust using the bottom portion, the pommel portion of the short club. So you can hear, bam, break their hand like this, or even using the other end with a thrust, bam here or bam here. When you hit and you break those bones, bam, it causes them to drop the weapon. And then you come in again to some of the other targets that we mentioned earlier. So very effective weapon. Good job. Very effective weapon. Easy to improvise anywhere you go. We'll actually do a video on this as well. It's actually a pretty good question. Cameron, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you pretty much covered everything.
Okay. All right. So if you have any other questions, simply post them in the comments below. Doesn't matter how outlandish the question may be, and we'll actually answer it on the show. Enjoy this video. Then do us a huge favor and share with 2 or 3 military personnel, law enforcement, politicians, or civilians that you know may need it. They'll definitely thank you for it. Plus, make sure you subscribe to our channel right now so you don't miss out on our weekly videos, where you learn innovative techniques to survive and overcome even the most life-threatening of situations. And before we go, if you love action movies and like to check out some of our work, go to bestnewactionmovies.com or simply click on the link below this video. Again, I'm Dylan.
I'm Hammerhead
with Phantom Force. Don't miss our next video when we cover Garrote Execution Defense Technique 1, Counter Assassination Techniques. See you next video.